ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ 7th chapter 14th श्लोका। अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतान्तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः मायया परुतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः। So we are seeing the 7th chapter where Bhagavan talked about what is Ishvara. Ishvara is the material cause and the efficient cause of this world, and thereby Ishvara alone is manifesting as this world, like clay alone is manifesting as various pots. Then Bhagavan entered into the topic of the samsara karanam, the cause for samsara. If everything is Ishvara, then how come I am feeling problem? Everything should be divine, godly. Then how come I have problem? I am becoming dukhi, miserable, limited, wanting, helpless. For that, Bhagavan says, samsara is because of not knowing oneself to be one with Ishvara. So ignorance and ignorance born wrong conclusions are the cause for samsara. In fact, this is the first lesson of Vedanta. That itself takes so many years for people to assimilate. They may hear several times, they will hear that because of ignorance there is a problem, because of ignorance born conclusion there is a problem of samsara. But person has to see very intimately in one's life that I am feeling helpless with regard to family situation, finance situation, even though immediately my problem is because of not having money, because of losing the job, or because of non-cooperative spouse, or children, or parents, or relatives. That is what we generally think, that my problem is because of somebody outside. I am feeling miserable because of somebody outside. And if we don't get anybody locally, we say because my Ketu Dasha, Rahu Dasha, Shani Dasha. Somebody came other day and he said, you please help me because I am in Ketu Dasha. I said, what can I do for your Ketu Dasha? I have not created your Ketu Dasha. So anyway, so people blame something, if not locally available, then something in the planets. As long as you are blaming the world, people, objects, situations for your misery, still you are having samsari mode of thinking. You can be considered to be spiritual sadhaka when you stop blaming the world. You say that yes, some physical discomfort is there because water did not come or the water is polluted. Yes, but my feeling helpless, my feeling miserable, that is not because of the situation outside or people outside. I am sad. Why? Because my spouse shouted at me. My neighbor shouted at me. The neighbor shouted at me will cause some physical inconvenience because I cannot relate to the person the way I was relating, or now I will not be able to have certain help. That is the empirical outcome. But because of that, I am miserable. I feel very helpless. That is because of my attitude. That is because of my misunderstanding about myself and the world. So sadhaka is the one who stops blaming the world for his feeling miserable. And Bhagavan says that ignorance and ignorance born wrong conclusions are the cause for samsara. This first lesson itself people don't pass. That itself they fail. They continue to blame the world for their misery. I am sad because my spouse is like this, my children are like this. But Bhagavan said, your real problem is you are not knowing what really you are, and in fact you are wrongly knowing yourself. What you think yourself to be is a wrong knowledge about yourself. Alright, that is the problem. What is the solution? Bhagavan says, Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Those who surrender to me, they cross over this maya which seems to create this ajnanam and ajnana based wrong conclusion. So Maya is a representative of ignorance and ignorance born wrong conclusion. And that Maya can be crossed over when a person surrenders to. And surrendering means, we have seen two ways. One is surrender means dropping the resistance to all facts of my life, appreciating the order of Ishvara. And second is Maya means directing all my efforts to Ishvara is called surrender to Ishvara. Like somebody said, now I have surrendered to naturopathy. I tried so many pathy and now I have, for my physical, my health issue, I have surrendered to naturopathy. Means what? My all efforts to restore my health are directed to naturopathy, the method suggested by naturopathy. That is called surrender to naturopathy. So similarly, surrender to Ishvara means all efforts are directed to attain Ishvara. That is surrender. This is otherwise called bhakti. So Bhagavan is presenting bhakti as the solution to Ishvara, solution to the problem of samsara. Then question was raised that if bhakti is the solution, surrender to Ishvara is the solution, then why people are not surrendering to Ishvara? Why people are not worshipping to Ishvara? What is the reason? What stops people going to the right solution, bhakti? For that Bhagavan gives the reason. Namam dushkritino moodaha prapadyante naradhamaha. The people who are dushkritinaha, people who have got lot of papam in their account, and people who continue to do papam, they will not be able to worship Ishvara. In fact, sometimes it happens that a person is dying, and if somebody tells, please tell Rama, 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 he cannot tell. To tell Rama, Rama at the end of one's life requires some grace. It will earn you grace, but it will require grace. So otherwise, if people say that some difficulty is there, you chant Bhagavan Nama, you cannot chant. So if papam is too much, then person will not be able to come to Bhagavan, come to surrender to Bhagavan. Therefore, if some people are not able to do that, you pray for that person. Or for that person's growth, you pray. That will help him, because he himself will not be able to do it. Like in certain disease, psychological disease, person will not feel like taking medicine. So person not feeling like taking medicine itself is a part of the problem. As a part of the problem, he will not feel like taking medicine. So what one has to do? One has to help the person somehow, when he doesn't know and still medicine is given, like in milk or water, whatever. That's how that one Badshah, then a Muslim emperor was there, and he had some coughing problem, and he is all that is the doctors, they gave medicine, but nothing was working. Then somebody says that in particular Nalanda or somewhere, he said there great Ayurveda scholars are there, they can take care of all problems. But this emperor says, no, I will not take medicine. Still they can cure me, then I will know how great they are. That was the challenge. You see, the person is telling, I will not take medicine from you, but still you have to cure me. Then also this challenge was taken. And what they did, he said, you please give your Quran. On that Quran book, they apply this medicine. And this person, when he is turning the page, then this medicine will be touched. And sometimes he will put his finger in his mouth, and that will help him curing the disease. So that is the intelligence. That other person is not ready to take help because of his arrogance. Then because of the grace of some Mahatma, person may come around. But as long as that thing doesn't happen, dushkritinaha mam na prapadyante. The people who have lot of punya, papam, or people who are committed to adharma, they cannot worship Bhagavan. Then naradhamaha. Bhagavan uses the word naradhamaha, nareshu adhamaha. The people who are inferior, in the sense they are criticized by these right people. Their behavior is such that they will not be respected among great people. And not only here they will be criticized, but in Paraloka also they will have very undesirable lot. They are called Naradhamaha. And Moodaha. They are deluded about what is right, what is wrong. Shreyasya preyasya manushya metau tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. Shreyo bhi dhiro bhi preyaso vrunite preyo mando yoga kshemad vrinite. In Kathopanishad it is said that mandaha, the people who are not able to think properly, they will have a wrong choice. They will be always committed to the artha and kama, this prosperity and pleasure. So Buddha means deluded about the priority in life. One of the issues people have is they don't have clear priorities. So sometimes they do it, again they drop it, again they do something else, and again they come back and then do it for some time, drop it. Why? The priorities are not clear. And sometimes there is a wrong priorities. They think that this doing adharma will help them, the manipulation will help them, these right things will not work. All these are delusion, and because of that deluded mind, they cannot go to the right solution. Mudaha. If somebody tells him that he go to Bhagavan, go to the devotees, they will help you, he will laugh. So person is so deluded that right solution will not appeal to him and wrong solution alone will appeal to him. That is called Mudaha. So the people who are going to harm him, he will consider them to be his friends. And people who are going to help him, he will consider them as his enemies. That is Mudaha. And why they are Mudaha? Mayaya aparuta jnanaha. Their Viveka Shakti, the discriminative power, here Jnanam in the sense of that discriminative power or discriminative understanding is aparutaha. Aparuta means robbed of, deprived, taken away, mayaya, by maya. By this maya, their Viveka Shakti is taken away, therefore they are Mudaha. And asuram bhavam ashritaha. Ashritaha means they are resorted to asuram bhava, the state of asuras. And what is the meaning of asura? Asushu indriyartheshu ramante iti asura. So those who are reveling in sense objects, the drinking, eating, and that some particular the sort of exciting music, etc., that alone is the object of their reveling. They are called asura. In other words, people who are given to materialism. The materialism alone is their philosophy. What is the purpose of life if you ask them? Eat, drink, and be merry. That's all. That is the purpose. They say, you have got only one life, enjoy. That is the philosophy. That is called asuram bhavam ashrita. Resorted to this asura state, the mental state which is given to only artha and kama, the bhoga. Bhoga is the purpose of life. They are called asuram bhavam ashrita. Bhagavan says such people will not be able to come to me and surrender. If you tell them to go to the temple or you read some religious book, attend some satsang, that's it is a waste of time. They will not come. Even though inside their house there is a puja room, but puja room will be getting dusted. Nobody to take care. So such people namam prapadyante. They do not surrender to Ishvara. Even though Ishvara is all the time available to be an altar of surrender, but they don't surrender. So here one commentator nicely says that these people are ayogyaha. Right now at least. They are not fit to come to bhakti of Ishvara. And because of that, they cannot worship me. And he said, Aho daurbhagya tesham. It is what a misfortune they have. Generally in the world, if somebody doesn't have money, doesn't have children, then they consider it to be misfortunate person. But according to our Shastra, what is misfortune? Greatest misfortune is that you are not able to come to Ishvara. You are not able to relate to Ishvara. That is a misfortune. You are not able to take Bhagavan Nama. That is a misfortune. So, aho daurbhagya tesham. What a misfortune that those people have. To such people, we do not hate. In fact, in the last class, as we saw, we pray for them. That is our maturity. Some people have got one problem. So many problems people have. One problem is they themselves are relatively good people, religious people, following these values. They don't take somebody's wealth. They lead the life, simple life. But one issue they have is, if they see somebody doing wrong, they feel very disturbed. Somebody not worshipping Bhagavan, somebody criticizing Bhagavan, doing wrong things, they feel so disturbed. That is one type of samsara. So you don't do wrong things, but if somebody is doing wrong thing, you feel highly disturbed, you lose your sleep over it. That is called aviveka. It is called wrong way of thinking. We always should focus in life what is within the area of our influence. If we cannot change the person, better we learn to accept the person. How politicians are doing, in Bihar or whichever country or whichever state, in this state also some extent. Then, do you have any control over that? Please do it if you have, and that is your priority. Please do it. We are not stopping. It is some people have to do it, and you are doing it. Very good. But if you do not have any area of influence, don't spoil your mind because of their wrongdoing. And so, we sympathize with these people who are described here. We sympathize with them. And maximum weight what we can do is prayer for them. Just pray for them. Oh Lord, give them right direction. And one day, because of your prayers, they may have a situation where they will seek help from Ishvara. We have heard the cases that person was a great atheist, but something happened and he turned to be theist. It happens. Anything is possible. So you pray for the person. If you really care for the person, pray rather than getting angry. Because anger never changes the person. Have you ever seen that you got angry with somebody and because of that he changed? We don't hear such cases. Person will change only when some grace of Ishvara is there, some acceptance, some love is felt by the person. In the atmosphere of acceptance alone, real growth, genuine growth is possible. Otherwise, person may pretend to have changed. He will pretend to be changing, but really inside he remains the same. You are frightening person, so he or she will not do what you don't like to do, what you don't like him to do. But afterwards they will remain the same. Therefore, we do not spoil our mind because of their wrong behavior or their not coming to Ishvara. Sometimes it happens that one spouse is highly devoted, others is atheist. Then the person who is devoted is having this sadness that see my spouse doesn't believe in Ishvara, he or she does not come to the temple. I want to go, I want to take him, he doesn't come. Doesn't matter. On his behalf or her behalf, you pray. That is the right way of doing. Instead of having a fight, why are you not coming to the temple? Then he also will say, why are you not coming to movie? So he wants you to come to movie and you want him to take him to the temple. So there is a fight. Then I told one lady, I said, you can have a deal. Once you go with him with move for movie, and once he will come to your temple. So deal. but there is no point in fighting. So Bhagavan talked about why people do not come to Ishvara. Because of their given to adharma and because of certain papa, certain commitment to bhoga, they do not come. Alright, then what is the right way of leading one's life? Bhagavan described in the next shloka. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritin आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ. This is one of the popular shlokas of the 7th chapter and entire Bhagavad Gita. In this chapter, 4 types of devotees are talked about. Devotees, in Sanskrit they are called bhaktaha. And those who are bhakta, they have got bhakti. So here in this shloka and after from this shloka onwards, this bhakti is elaborated. Now, what is the meaning of bhakti? There are mainly 2 meanings. One is reverential love for someone is called bhakti. Some altar. Reverential love for some altar is bhakti. Like I love my mother with reverence, then it will be called Matru Bhakti. I love my country with reverence, that is called Rashtra Bhakti. I love my Guru with respect, it is called Guru Bhakti. So Bhakti means love with respect. Reverential love is Bhakti. And that is how in Narada Bhakti Sutra it is described. Satu asmin parama prema swarupa. What is Bhakti? The highest love for the Lord is called Bhakti. So one definition is reverential love is Bhakti. Second meaning of this word Bhakti is in the form of sadhana. Certain pursuit, certain activities are also called Bhakti. And to convey this idea of sadhana, sometimes they add the word yoga, Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means the sadhana of Bhakti. And this Bhakti yoga is interpreted in 2 ways. So first is Bhakti as an attitude that we saw. Second is Bhakti as a sadhana. The devotion as sadhana is also called Bhakti, otherwise called Bhakti yoga. And this Bhakti yoga is understood in 2 ways. One is certain activities which are helping to develop, strengthen, express our love for Ishvara, that is called Bhakti. So Bhakti are specific devotional activities which are helping us to develop, express and strengthen our love for Ishvara. That is called Bhakti. That also is called Bhakti or Bhakti Yoga. And what are those activities? It is described in 2 ways. One is Kayika, Vachika, Manasa. 3 types of devotional activities. Kayika Bhakti means the devotional activities where our physical body is predominant. Like what? Doing the puja, going to the temple, going to the Tirtha Yatra, different pilgrimage, that is called Kayika Bhakti. Another one is called Vachika Bhakti. where I chant some Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, Shiva Sahasranama, or singing the glories by singing bhajans, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. All of them they are also bhakti, Vachika bhakti. And third is Manasa bhakti, mental activity in the form of meditation on Ishvara. So these are the threefold devotional activities which are also called bhakti. And sometimes these threefold activities are presented in 9 ways, Navadha bhakti, which is talked about in Bhagavatam, in the mouth of Prahlada. Prahlada has presented a beautiful shloka which is presenting Navadha bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyamatma Nivedanam. All these 9-fold activities are called Navadha bhakti. Smaranam Kirtanam Vishnoho, remembering Ishvara, singing the glory of Ishvara. Smaranam Kirtanam Vishnoho, Shravanam, listening to the glory, Kirtanam, Smaranam, then Vandanam, Archanam. Vandanam is saluting, doing namaskara, doing the archana, doing the puja, doing some seva, dasyam. Dasyam is doing some temple, cleaning the temple, bringing the flowers for the temple. That is called dasyam. And sakhyam, considering Ishvara to be one's friend. This is a very important concept because generally people are afraid of Ishvara. So let us not be God-fearing people. Let us be God-loving people. So not having this fear that Bhagavan will punish me, I have not done Vishnu Sahasranama, Bhagavan will punish me. That type of attitude initially perhaps okay, but later on we grow into developing friendship with Ishvara. Ishvara is my Sakha. And then finally, Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam means considering Ishvara to be my sole support. My real help comes from Ishvara. Anybody helps, they are nimitta, Ishvara will protect me and whatever I have belongs to Ishvara. Means I give up my possessiveness with reference to everything including my relatives. My children, my spouse, my house, all of them, I consider them to be belonging to Ishvara. And I give my responsibility to Ishvara and keep worshipping Ishvara. That is the highest form of devotion, where person is completely free from any anxiety to achieve anything. That is called Atma Nivedanam. That is why at the end of the puja, we do Sashtanga or Panchanga Namaskara, which is indicative of this Atma Nivedana. Nivedana means offering. Atma means here oneself. Offering oneself completely is called Atma Nivedana. And all these are also called Bhakti. And another way of saying Bhakti is a series of sadhana for attaining Ishvara is called Bhakti. And they are presented in Shastra in the form of 3 yogas: Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga means doing the karma with proper attitudes, offering it to Bhagavan, Karma Yoga. Then Dhyana or Upasana Yoga, meditating on Ishvara. And finally, Jnana Yoga, means the studying the scripture to know the Ishvara. That is called Jnana Yoga. And all three of them are called Bhakti. So people generally think that we are studying Vedanta, so we are not Bhaktas. Several times we have discussed this point. We need not have such division that those who are going to the temple, they are Bhaktas. Whereas we are coming to satsang hall, we are not Bhaktas. We are higher than Bhaktas, or they will say we are lower than Bhaktas. We think that we are higher, they will think that they are higher. So they think they are only studying the theory of Ishvara, whereas we are practically going to Ishvara directly. This type of division is unnecessary. One who is going to the temple is a Bhakta, one who is studying the scripture to know the Ishvara also is Bhakta. In fact, that is what Bhagavan is telling in this shloka. That those who are studying the scripture to know me, Ishvara, they are called Jignasu Bhakta. And therefore, there is no such division. If a person is serving some people in the hospital with the attitude of serving Ishvara, then he also is Bhakta. So Karma Yogi is a Bhakta, this Upasana Yogi is also Bhakta, and Jnana Yogi also is a Bhakta. So Bhakti is a series of sadhana. And thus we have got now clear understanding what Bhakti is. Bhakti means attitude of reverential love, and Bhakti means any spiritual sadhana which is finally leading me to the discovery of oneness with Ishvara. With this background, we'll see here Chaturvida Bhajante Mam Janaha. Chaturvida Janaha means 4 types of people. Mam Bhajante, they worship me. And Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, all of them are Sukrutinaha. All of them have got some punyam to have the thought of worshipping Ishvara. That's not a small thing. You can go to the temple itself is a blessing. After going to the temple, you will receive blessing is another blessing. But I have the thought of going to the temple, that wish itself is a blessing. That's what we tell in meditation. That I am able to sit for meditation itself is a blessing. Whether in meditation I could concentrate or did not concentrate is a different matter. But I could sit, I had a thought for sitting, I had time for sitting, I had mind for sitting, I tried for sitting. These things themselves are blessings. So people generally say, Swamiji, I sit for more meditation and hardly I am able to concentrate. I feel so miserable. I feel so depressed. So my suggestion to them is, you look upon your mind to sit for meditation. You are having time for sitting for meditation. Themselves are blessings. You are already blessed. It is something like a child wants to help his father or mother. Child may not be able to really contribute much. But what touches the heart of father or mother is, child wants to do it. That touches the heart. Like squirrel. Squirrel is trying to get some sand for building that bridge. So Bhagavan Rama was very, very happy with that squirrel. It might have contributed. Few grains he might have brought. But the very attempt, very desire to contribute itself is a blessing. So, coming to the worshipping Bhagavan, having the thought of worshipping Bhagavan also makes you what? Sukrutinaha. Sukrutina means having punyam. Virtuous people. Some virtue, some punyam is there. In Tulsidas Ramayana it is a Tehi Jani Jini Rama Janai. Means what? Who will be able to know Rama, whom Rama wants to know? Whomsoever Rama chooses to know, that person will know. It is a way of showing the importance of grace. We don't say that, we will leave everything to Bhagwan's wish and we keep quiet. You make effort, but at the same time, in the heart, there is attitude of surrender. That is the idea conveyed in that. We should not overstress that statement. Sukrutinaha, the people who have got punya, they worship me. And there are 4 types. What are they? First one is artaha. Artha means afflicted. Devotee in distress. We have got the example of Draupadi in Mahabharata. When Draupadi was derobed, means she was robbed of her clothes, they were trying to remove her dress, Dushasana. At that time, her husbands were there, so many relatives were there, none of them could help. And at that time, Bhagavan Sri Krishna was in Dwarika. And she prayed, Hey Govinda. Then Bhagavan presented himself in the form of dress. It is called Vastravatara of Bhagavan. It's called Avatara. So Bhagavan presented himself in the form of the dress. So much dress came. And that Bhagavan manifested in the form of the dress. So a person is in trouble and he remembers Bhagavan. That type of devotee is called Artha Bhakta. In fact, most of the people are Artha Bhakta only. In fact, we started our affair with Bhagavan. How? As Artha Bhakta only. Our exams were nearing, we have not studied enough, and then what? We go to Weave temple. And we can have a deal with Bhagavan. Bhagavan, if I pass, I will give you 1 coconut. That is how we started. Artha. And Bhagavan says that also is okay. Bhagavan is going to say, all are okay. So even if you remember Bhagavan when you are in trouble, afterwards you forget. He says, so dukh mein sumiran sab kare. So when you are in pain, you remember Bhagavan. Afterwards forget. Bhagavan said, doesn't matter. That also is Artha, is my devotee. Second is Artharthi. Artharthi means desirous of material success. He is starting a factory and he does puja and prays. Oh Lord, let my endeavor be successful. That type of devotee is called Artharthi. He doesn't have problem now, but he knows that problem can come and therefore anticipatory bail like. So he said, Bhagavan, you please remove all the obstacles in my pursuit. Make my pursuit successful. That devotee is called Artharthi. Most of them are Artha and Artharthi. Third one is Jignasu. The Bhakta who is Jignasu, desirous of knowing Ishvara. He doesn't want anything from Ishvara. He wants Ishvara himself as oneself. And therefore, he is in the pursuit of knowing Ishvara as oneself. That's called Jignasu. So now what we are doing is what? Jignasu Bhakti. And finally, Jnani, wise person. A wise person also is a devotee. People think Vedantis are not devotees. Jnani is, in fact, Bhagavan is going to say, wise person is the highest devotee. So, wise person like Shukadeva, he is also Bhakta. Uddhava is a Jignasu Bhakta. Udaharanam they give. Artharthi is the Bhakta like Dhruva. He wanted some material success. So, all 4 types of devotees are there. And Bhagavan says, among them, Jnani is the highest devotee. Those details we see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Dachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameshishyate So Shanti